Hi, I'm Dana Blizzard, and it's too early in the morning. Welcome to One Funny Morning Show.
From Monday to Friday.
And sometimes on Saturday.
Why would you say that in front of all these people?
You never know what's gonna happen.
Carmen.
Cortez.
Good morning, everybody.
What's outside your weather drawer?
Good morning. Uppy, everybody.
Good morning, gorgeous Dina. I'm Angela Geyer from California. I would have made this video for you a long time ago, but I've been so busy making homemade crackers. Sorry, Michelle, that was the funniest thing I've ever heard. I had to say something. But I was making homemade crackers so I could be so sophisticated. Hi, Jurgen. Hi, Wham. Love you, boys. But on a serious note, I'd like to thank Dina for bringing so much joy and laughter each and every morning to myself and to so many others. And I would like to wish Dina, Lady Di, Mom to all of us, your lovely children, and of course the OFM staff, a happy holiday. And here's your host, the lovely Dina Blizzard.
Angela, of all the days for you to come on and be so funny and talk about crackers and how beautiful I am, I think it's ironic since I want to punch Michelle in the face, and I would love to have crackers, and I have last night's face on, and there's Michelle in her jammies, in her leopard pajamas. And I just want to say, I want to apologize to everyone who lives on the West Coast because this is so stupid. Today is a different kind of show. Today is a show where we ponder life choices. Somebody got some jet lag, you think? Now here's have you gone to bed? No. Just so you know, I have. This was me with some sleep. Melissa's like, good morning. I want to punch everyone today. Yeah, so do I. And you know what her name is? You know what everyone's name is today? Michelle.
Can you have whey protein?
What?
Can you have whey protein?
I don't know. I don't think now's the time to question things that I can eat. Because, okay, like crack jackets, let's get into it.
Roasted peanuts, soy protein isolate, chicory root.
Does it say gluten-free on?
Semi-sweet chocolate chips, vegetable
oil.
oils.
Someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Bob, I think I'm still asleep. I don't even know why you'd think I was awake. Wonderful. Michelle won't let me go to Starbucks.
That's not true.
Okay. Am I at Starbucks? I don't know. I think the proof is in the pudding. Where's Dina? Dina wants to go to Starbucks. Check. Is Dina at Starbucks? Oh. Did somebody stop her from going to Starbucks? Yep.
Starbucks is not open yet.
That's what she says.
It's because it's true. I called.
Okay. Why do you want to punch Michelle? Well, Carol, let's let that unfold. So here's Aunt Survivor. Dina partied hard. Just so you know, I didn't party even medium or easy. We actually just lived a regular life. This is what regular life and staying up late looks like.
You helped other people party.
Did I?
Yeah. You're going to tell everybody about that.
Mm-hmm. Vegas, the city that never sleeps unless it's tired, and it's 51 and it's had a long night, and then sometimes it should sleep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank goodness Michelle's not naked. We can see her reflection in the window.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Some people are like, oh my gosh, Dina, you're so crazy. You in Vegas. I didn't know I was going to be in Vegas. This is what we call a surprise trip. So Michelle asked me to come to Vegas with her. There was a change in schedule. And on Monday, she was like, you want to go to Vegas? And I was like, you're funny. And here we are. And I just have to say, welcome to our reality here in Seattle. Kaylin, I would unfollow me, is what I would do. And I'd probably have a lot of negative things to say to me, and I'm fine with it today. So Michelle invites me to Vegas. I say yes. I would love to go to Vegas because I don't understand time math. And then I said, well, if I'm coming out to Vegas, I might as well book some guest spots at some clubs. So I did. And that was the problem. So let's start from the beginning. So Michelle says, come to Vegas. I say, okay. Yesterday, she says, on the way to the airport, okay, we're about to get dropped off at the airport. At the Philadelphia airport, you come down this one road, 95, and then there's one big turn you make, like a ramp you take that brings you to the drop-off point. So we're coming around this curve, and she says, oh my gosh, the funniest story. I love funny stories. Tell me a funny story. She goes, oh my gosh, did I ever tell you the time that I almost got arrested at the airport?
That's not what I said.
That's what I recollect. That I almost got arrested for cocaine.
That's not what I said.
That's what I think
That
she
is
said.
not what I said.
She said, Dina, funny story. Did I ever tell you I almost got arrested one time for cocaine? And I said, huh? She goes, by the way, I have a jacket I want to give you.
That's not
And
what I
was
said.
like,
I said at the airport, first of all, and I did not say that.
yeah, that's what I just
I said
said.
there was a bag.
You said, did I ever tell you the time that I almost got arrested
No,
for
I didn't
cocaine?
say- no,
What
I
did you
did-
say? Tell me what's
Did
different.
I tell you the cocaine story at the airport?
No.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You know what? That's fine. I'll accept that. Still upsetting. Did I ever tell you the time that I almost got arrested
No, I didn't
for cocaine?
say that. That's not what I said.
Say it again.
Because I packed
Tell me what you just said again, one more time.
Did I tell you about the cocaine story in the airport?
Okay, let's just roll out with that. Mrs. Like, same story. Okay, so did I ever tell you the cocaine story in the
Are you
airport?
going to get flagged for that?
Michelle, I don't know what's your cocaine story at the
No.
airport. I very rarely say cocaine at the airport. Or let me say cocaine anything. So I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. Okay. She says, did I ever tell you the cocaine story at the airport?
Stop using
So
other words.
I was like, And then she says, by the way, there's a jacket I want to give you. And then I said, does this jacket have cocaine in it? It was just an interesting melding of two sentences that just seemed slightly related. And I was about to go through security. And I just thought, now's an odd time to bring up cocaine at the airport. So, and then she goes, by the way, I want to give you something. Now, listen, I have seen, what was that movie? Remember the movie with the two girls and they are in another country and they did something. I think somebody gave them a package. You should never take a package from anybody right before you go to the airport. Here's
Bridget
Michelle.
Jones.
Did I ever tell you the cocaine story at the airport? By the way, I want to give you something. I was like, I'm not that smart, but I have watched a lot of movies and a lot of CSI. And I am almost positive I shouldn't take the jacket. She's like, let me give you the jacket. Broke down pallets. Thank you, Leslie. Even Leslie, trying to go through a difficult situation health-wise, knows don't take a jacket from somebody says, did I ever tell you my cocaine story? Take this jacket. I don't think I wanted to. So she gives me a jacket. And now it looks like I'm in Vegas. I am in jail. Very fancy. So that's how our trip started. And somebody just said Bridget Jones. That is not the basic, the plot line of Bridget Jones. I've seen Bridget Jones. I don't remember this part. So that's how yesterday started. Yeah. Brenda, if you've never given me stars, now's the time. And give me the stars. I don't know if you could name the stars, but just name them. Cocaine jacket. I said crack jacket. I said, I don't think I want your crack jacket because that's wrong. So we got here And I have this guest spot last night at this club. So I'm getting ready, and Michelle says, are you going to wear the jacket I brought for you that I'm giving to you? And I was like, crack jacket? And she said, I think you should wear it. It's such a cute jacket. Oh, I was going to say, bring me the jacket. It's right here. I had to lay it over the window because there's whistling. It's a long story. Nothing I'm saying makes sense at all. This is going to be a great show. Jurgen, I'm in Vegas, and this is where you wanted to be. Just come out here. I have a jacket for you. Okay. So Michelle says last night, Dina, why don't you wear your jacket? What in the world did I just walk into? Well, here we go. Mandy, this is so cold. The window was making a whistling sound because it's so windy here. It was like, so I put this on the window to stop it, which it did. Now it's freezing. Anyway, Michelle says, are you going to wear the jacket I gave you? I said, crack jacket? No, I don't think so. She goes, Dina, it's such a cute jacket. I was like, filled with cocaine. So I said, fine, I'll put your jacket on. It's a cute jacket. I'm not going to lie. Fine. So I said, all right. Now I had a different shirt on. What color is the shirt you had on, Dina? I'm going to tell you. It's a great shirt, and I look great in the shirt. It's a green shirt. I said, all right, well, it's a green shirt. I should be able to wear this jacket. She goes, oh, here's Michelle. Real nonchalant. Not. Oh, I was thinking maybe you could not wear the green shirt. What? She goes, here's Michelle. It's just, maybe we could get rid of that shirt. I was like, what are you talking about? Michelle, give me the green shirt. Because I'm sure that no one will even recognize that
Oh, do you
shirt.
want me to just pull up pictures? I can show people pictures. That would be more fun, I think. Let me show you the pictures. Oh, you
Can
want
I
to show
have
the
the
shirt
shirt?
first? And then I can tell you the
So
story.
here's the shirt I had on. Look how cute it is. They'd be like, that is a cute shirt. Cute color. That would look great on you, Dina. And I said, okay, I think it would be super cute. And she said, yeah, it's just that you've worn that shirt 700 times. And I was like, Michelle, I barely wear this shirt. She's like, I can think of at least 7 occasions. Let me tell you about each of them. On one occasion, you wore it to this event. On another occasion, you wore it. I go, okay, so whatever, Michelle. Not important. I think what's important is that I look nice in this shirt. And I number one, I look nice in the shirt. And B, I don't care. It's clean, kind of. And I'll just wear the shirt. And she was like, well, why would you wear it when I can give you this jacket with a different shirt? And I said, let me just get this straight. Did you give me a crack jacket because you were being nice, which is a weird sentence, or were you just doing some type of weird exchange program where you're like, I know a way to get her to give me that green shirt. Let me give her my crack jacket. And maybe we can be like, you know what? I thought this would look great on you. And you know what would look great on me? A green shirt. Did you wear the green shirt last night?
No, I did not. See, you thought you were going to get the joke, and there's no joke there.
Just so you know, I'm currently wearing
was
your
being
crack
nice.
jacket. There are so many jokes.
Can you stand up and show them how cute it is? It's adorable. It's adorable.
So, oh, no TikTok this morning, Alejandra. I'm sorry. Michelle set up the studio.
That's
Here's Michelle. Oh my gosh, Dina. The lighting that I just set up for you
it's beautiful.
looks amazing. You should wear a crack jacket. And I was like, I'm going to do the show from my bed. No lighting. Why is Michelle your friend? You know, Amy, let's talk about that. Let's talk about it.
Well,
Because she
you
tried to get me
portrayed it in
arrested
such a
with this
horrible light.
crack jacket. And
You portrayed me in such a horrible light.
Michelle's real aggressive this morning.
I am not aggressive this morning. You're making me aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Thank goodness we have a guest today who could maybe do an intervention. Now he thinks he's here to talk about productivity, and I think we should open with friendship. He was like, I don't have any friends that have ever given me a crack jacket or mentioned crack right before we go through the airport security terminal. So I don't know what to tell you, Dina. I can think of productive ways to get rid of said friend. Just so you know, he's in the green room right now going, I didn't prepare for any of this. This is not at all what was in the pre-interview. You know what, Curly Top? It is what friends are for. And here's what I'm going to say. All of my friends hate my hair, and all of them mentioned it. And a lot of people think that's rude. But I would rather have friends that tell me one time. More than once is a lot. Okay, I wasn't looking at I wasn't even looking at you.
I told you
And
once because I love you. And I gave you a jacket and took the green shirt and gave you a jacket. You look amazing in that jacket.
But that's what your friends should do.
We'll
Did you cover your hair for your set? Alice, it's so funny you say that. So I was planning on covering my hair for some like work events if I have to. So if you don't know, I'm growing this gray out. And it's way past the point where like I should have done it already, right? But I'm going to grow it out fine. Well, I get to the club last night and there's 4 comics there, four fellas in the room. And very nice. They were so lovely. And I'm sitting there and I've realized that I don't, unless I'm staring in a mirror or like looking at myself, I don't even notice it. So I forget. But then I remember that other people can see me. And then I remember, you're not supposed to look like this. So I find myself, especially for like work stuff. So it was like real quiet in the room. I go, fellas, I do feel important to mention that I know that.
Give me your face.
I have a face I'd like to give you.
No, can you just open it with your face?
Sure. I said, I just want you guys to know that I know that my grays should have been covered a long time ago, but I'm actually growing it out. I don't want you to be like, this girl knew she was coming to Vegas. She got a crack jacket on and her hair's real nasty. Like, I know, but I didn't want you to think I didn't know. I know that you know that I should have gotten it done, but I want you to know that I know that I'm doing it. And now my sister's texting. I think it's funny that people that I know that know I have a job from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern are just like, you know when I should text Dina? 8:31. So this is great. Mm-hmm. The guys didn't notice. No, you know what? It's so funny you say that, Shakendra, because I was like, I don't even think they're going to notice. They were like, girl, thank you. It's just like, at some point, the gray's going to be here. And people are just going to be like this. Hi. Like that. It'll be uncomfortable. So I think I have to practice that until I guess eventually it's just completely grown out. And then you can't really say that anymore. I'll just have white hair and I'll be like, so guys, I know it looks like I should have covered my grays. They'll be like, your whole head is gray. Yeah.
Before we get started, I'd like to show a picture.
Sure, Michelle, let's do that. Okay. That's not me in a green shirt.
That's you.
That was me preparing
outfit.
for the show.
That's you in the outfit.
Okay, and just so you know, that's a grainy photo. You took this photo. Why is it grainy? We were still sober at that point.
It doesn't matter. Look at that fabulous
Michelle, I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot wrong with it. Let's go through this picture. Why was I standing like this? I have no idea. Michelle said, let's take some pictures. This was the pose. This is my first pose. Okay, number 1. Number 2, it's grainy. Why? Viola, I have no idea. Because if somebody says, we're going to do a photo shoot, I'm so awkward and I hate them. I was like, let's do this. 3rd, your job was to push a button and it's grainy. 4, why is that? I think you knocked all my stuff off of the bathroom thing. I got ready and it would looked nice in that bathroom. And then Michelle got ready. And when I came in, all my crap was on the floor.
That's not true.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to take this away because we have a guest.
I thought you were going to show pictures of me in the green shirt.
We will do that later.
You said, I have so many pictures of you in the green shirt. And then you put a picture of me not in a green shirt.
Did you get my email? Because you need that email.
You sent
I sent email.
Sure. Let's get to it. I just want you to.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for any inconvenience this morning because Dina is a little unteed and unlemonade-ed.
Thank you. I need a vase is what I need.
She does need a vase. And to be honest, I think that, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not awake either. I called Starbucks at 5:30 to see if they were open because I was going to run down and get her Starbucks, and they're not open until 6.
You know what I heard her say? Can you guys stay closed till 6:00?
That's not true.
There's
I've
a girl
also
in a crack
given her
jacket that's trying to get a tea.
plenty of
so she can go
nourishment
to work.
here.
None
so
of
that
that's good.
It's all gluten-free and it's all
Okay,
delicious.
let's talk about these.
Okay.
Graham is like, am I
let's go to
on the
our
show
guest
today?
now.
You are,
Why-
Graham.
Why
She
don't-
gives me these on the plane. Okay, I got a picture. Give me the picture. Give me my phone. Here, I have a picture. Here's Michelle yesterday on the plane. She goes, now don't worry. I brought plenty of snacks for us for
I
this
did.
flight.
They're really
And then
good.
right before she goes, by the way, I left the snacks at home
No, it's
because
not
I
what
couldn't
I said.
fit them in
That's
my
not what I
bag because
said.
I have crack jacket.
Okay.
Anyway,
I just want to interject one thing.
No.
When I was packing, my electricity went off.
remember
So
inviting
I
you on this show.
packed in battery operated candlelight. So I'm just lucky to be here.
Michelle, this
because
is
I didn't
Graham's
think it was
show,
gonna
and I'd
come.
like you to
I
step
know
away.
we have to get Graham on because
Okay,
Graham has
Graham
much
wants to
more
see this picture of what you
fabulous
did on the plane.
information.
And then we're going to go to Graham. Graham's like, I don't know. I don't think we should go to me. I've been watching, and this is so stupid. I don't even think I want to be on this show. Okay, here's what happened. She says, I have some gluten-free snacks for you. I said, okay. She goes, do you want some brownies? I love brownies.
I didn't say that.
You said something. I think you said you want something good. And I said, yes. And then she brought this out. And I was like, just because it has the word good in it doesn't.
They're
whatever.
delicious. Well, we're not going to get that sponsorship.
Either way. This particular thing isn't good. Made good is good if you get the balls. And she's
They're
like, please stop
very
saying
good.
balls on the flight. I was like, Michelle, you can say the word balls without it being negative. Okay? I think you're the one with the problem. Because then I said balls on a stick. This is so out of context.
We need to go to
I said
Graham.
balls on a stick. And she was like, are you trying to say topiary? I was like, same word. If you were sitting anywhere near us on this flight, you had a great time. Anyway, she says, do you want these? I'll give them to you. And I said, yes. So I started to open. Let me show you what I did. I said, sure. I'll eat this. Fine. So I opened it up, minding my own business. And I said, great. She goes, hold on. You're not going to eat that, are you?
That's not what I said.
And I was like, is this a trick?
That's not
She
what I
goes,
said.
you're not going to use your hands, are you? I was like, that's how I've been eating for, I don't know, 51 years. She goes, Dina, you're on an airplane. Don't use your hands. I was like, why would you give me a snack and then tell me not to use my hands? She goes, Dina, your hands are dirty, and I didn't bring my Lysol thing, and I don't know where it is, so you can't use your hands. This is man. This is me on the flight. So I was like, this is a series of pictures of me. Oh, wrong way. And Michelle was like, I don't look good in that picture. Hold on. Now Michelle starts modeling. Okay. This is the 17 pictures I took of us. And Michelle's like, I don't like that one. Just so you know. In every picture, I look crazy. I'm trying to actually eat something because I was starving. And she's like this.
Because I didn't have time to do my hair
I
because
think
I couldn't sleep at all.
everything. Kay, it's so funny. Michelle reminds me of your mom. Kay just said it. And I said, you realize that you are Diana reincarnated. I said, you know that.
I bring
And she was like,
snacks.
I'm nothing like your mom. That is exactly what Diana does.
I know, but I bring snacks.
And then she doesn't let you use your hands. She makes no-touch chicken. You brought a no-touch snack.
All right, we need to check your email, and then we need to go to Graham.
Oh, right. It's a no-touch guest. I'm not allowed to touch Graham. Graham's like, that's a shame. Okay.
He
Here we
was
go.
opening us up for lots
So,
of
yeah, let's
things.
pretend that we're a real show. Graham is like, I should have done some research on this show. Save to downloads? Why my computer is doing this?
In the meantime, I will tell you the topiary story. Dina says
Yes.
they're, outside of the door in the front. You know
I
how
was
you have
redoing
those,
the house.
you have those big things or like big pots, and there's like a stick with a ball in front. And I'm like,
That was pretty
you mean a
accurate, Michelle.
topiary?
That's how all the designers talk about
yeah.
it. You've never watched
Yeah, yeah.
HGTV. And they're like, now listen, we need two real strong, just like things on either side of the door. They're like, let's get some balls on a stick. You've never heard that.
And then she tells me about shopping
You
for them,
don't
and she's like, and
rush.
some of them had 2. I'm like, 2 sticks or 2
I said the two.
balls on a stick?
Thank you.
And even 3. Topiary. Okay.
Good.
Right,
Good.
go.
Go to Amazon and Google balls on a stick. I don't even know. Let me just do it. What happens? I bet it comes up as topiary.
Okay, let's do it.
Graham's
Let's
like,
do
I'm
one for
interested.
that.
Graham is actually like, let's Google balls on a stick in Amazon and see if a topiary comes up. Okay, well, I'm not showing anybody. Balls on a stick. And Amazon's like,
See, exactly. I don't even know what you're looking at, but we need to go to Graham. We need to go to Graham. I don't even want to know what's coming.
Graham's like, tell me.
I warned
Tell
you.
me.
I warned you. Let's just leave. I told you not to do it.
Hold on, it's so hot.
I told you not to do it.
Okay.
I want to
I'm so
apologize to
tired.
Graham before we bring you on.
Hold on.
Sincere apologies, Graham.
Okay, Michelle, you're ruining the show. Okay, shut up. All right, I didn't even hit search. I'm in Amazon and I put balls on a stick. And here's what the sub search came up with. Balls on a stick yard. Globbles sticky balls. Balls on a stick. Catnip balls that stick on a wall. Sticky balls. Sticky balls for ceiling. Sticky balls for kids. Dream balls. Glow in the dark that stick. Glow balls that stick to the ceiling. Glow in the dark sticky balls. That, just so we're clear, that is so much more than I thought was going to come up in the search. Let's go to balls on a stick.
We have got
Michelle, it's got to be. No, I'm going to tell you something. Not a topiary. So, you know what? Sometimes, you know what? The Lord wants us to just see where things land. We did, and that was the funniest. Yeah. Yeah, I need a best friend like Michelle. Do you want her? I can give her to you. I have an extra. So, happy. Yeah, everybody's like, I'm Googling it myself. Okay, let's focus. Guys, let's pretend we're a real show. Graham's like, why? I think we left that train left a long time ago. All right, here we go. Fix yourself. How long have you and Michelle been friends, including today? Because it's over. So it was 25 years.
No, it's more than that.
Is it?
It's 30
How old
years.
are we? No, it's not.
Yes,
How old are we? I just realized. Oh my God. When we met, I was 20.
No, we were like 19.
I was 19.
19, 20, yeah.
Oh, we were so cute.
Yeah, we were definitely 19.
All right, let's focus. All right, get it together.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's bring on Graham.
All right. All right. Welcome to One Funny Morning. Graham's like, okay, pretending isn't going to help. All right, you guys are going to love our guest today. Graham Alcott is an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and podcaster. He's the author of 4 books, including Balls on a Stick, How to Be a Productivity Ninja, the host of Beyond Busy, which is a podcast which explores the issues of productivity, work-life balance, and how people define happiness in their lives. He is the founder of Think Productive, one of the world's leading providers of personal productivity training and consultancy, with offices in the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and the Netherlands. With a mission to revolutionize stuffy time management courses, Think Productive launched in April of 2019 and has earned rave reviews from the likes of British Airways, the Cabinet Office, eBay, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Barclays Commerce Bank for its practical at-desk coaching approach. Away from productivity, Graham has a big passion for the charity sector. He is the co-founder of Interval, an international student volunteering charity. His previous roles include Chief Executive of Student Volunteering England, Head of Volunteering at the University of Birmingham, and an advisor to the UK government on youth volunteering policy. So here's what I know. He's better than all of us. And the fact that somebody with that kind of credentials has been waiting in the wings while we talk about a crack jacket means that he's awesome already. So please help me welcome to the show, Graham. Hi, Graham.
Hi.
I imagine you have some questions.
So my first question is, how do I get a crack jacket? Can you send one over to England?
Yeah,
in the
you have
mail?
to meet her at an airport. You have to be ready to go to jail, and that's it. So, Graham, I love your voice and your accent. It's so fabulous. Exactly what I needed today. Where are you joining us from?
My accent is the embodiment of balls on a stick.
I love Graham already.
So I am in today. I can say it's sunny Brighton. So Brighton is on the south coast, like an hour south of London. If you've seen the film Quadrophenia, which is like the film about the mods and the rockers, that's where it was set. So that's where I'm.
The mods and the rockers? What's that?
Do you know the Who? Did the Who make it big? And yeah, that's a big band in America, right? So they made a film called Quadrophenia, which is all about the mods and the rockers in the 1960s having fights.
What's a mod?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, you're looking at me a bit blankly. So mods used to wear like tailored suits, and they used to drive little Vespa scooters. And then the rockers used to wear like leather jackets, and they used to drive big Harley Davidsons, and then they used to fight. That was like a thing in the 60s in England.
Do you know what the Crips and the Bloods are?
I'd imagine it's similar. Is that like is that West Side Story or something?
It is, Graham. Yeah. So good.
I've never seen West Side Story, but I just know that bit.
Then who are the Crips and the Bloods?
The Bloods are gangs in like LA.
Okay, close enough. West Side Story, LA, whatever. It's the same. Whatever. I don't know that anything I'm going to say is going to be accurate. I want you to know, Graham, normally I'm a lovely person, but I had about 4 hours sleep. And so I don't know what I'm saying is making any sense whatsoever, but we're super excited to have you. Somebody said, no, those are the Jacks and the Sharks. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so how does one decide I am going to be a productivity expert? Like, how does that get started? Fill me in. Did he freeze?
No.
How does he still look hot frozen? Because when I'm here's me frozen. Okay, but some reason Graham just looks all manly. How is that? All right, I'm gonna remove him. Why? Let's just sit like that. Yeah. I think the whole thing is frozen. Yeah, the whole thing. What? Something. Mm-hmm.
You're not frozen on mine.
I know. Are we still streaming? All right, let me remove him for a second, and maybe that'll shake things up.
No, you're good.
I'm good. I'm still live.
I think. Hold on.
Yeah, we're not frozen. All right, so maybe some of
wait.
his feed. So he's gonna try again.
Hold on.
Steak Diane, you've missed a lot if you just got here. Oh, here he is. He's coming in again.
Okay.
All right, here he is. Okay, I'm gonna kick him out of this one and then start this one. All right, Graham, you're back.
There we go. That's so funny that the connection was perfect for all of that.
Live, I know.
Yeah. So where did we get to? So you were just asking me about how I got into productivity.
Yeah.
And then did it cut out then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how I got into it was realizing I was rubbish at productivity and solving it for me. And then I started to talk to friends of mine saying, hey, I've just got this new thing with my emails where my inbox is at 0. And like, I'm using to-do lists like this and I'm doing this. And I thought I was the last. It turned out that everybody else needed it too. So it just came about by accident, really. And once I fixed me, then everybody else wanted me to fix them. And then it just became this obvious thing of this light bulb moment of like, well, I should probably take this out and sort of share this with the world. So I did a lot of research and I read a lot of books about productivity and then figured out my own systems. And that's really, so my main book is How to Be a Productivity Ninja. That's the main book. And what this book is like.
That came out right after Balls on a Stick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that book really is like my instruction manual for like how I do productivity and it sort of describes the 9 characteristics of the productivity ninja. So 9 like different approaches that you can take to productivity, different ways to think about it. And the idea is to get everything out of your head, get it off your mind, get a sense of control over what you're doing. And then you can do your work really well in the hours that you want to do it, and then leave on time and not think about work for the rest of the time. So for me, being good
you're saying the total opposite of everything that I think about productivity. So you just said is you feel like you have control over things. And I'm at a place in my life, Graham, where I feel like I have zero control over anything and I'm just managing chaos. Is that how normal people feel? That's how I feel.
That's a very default setting, and particularly when people have busy jobs, lots of emails, bosses that want to contact them outside of normal working hours, all of that stuff, right? Like it's very easy for people to be in like perpetual chaos the whole time.
Yeah.
But basically what I'm interested in is helping people to get away from that and into a place that just feels psychologically just much more freeing and satisfying and calm. So that's really what the whole approach is about. So you can use that approach to work like super hard and get loads of stuff done. But what I'm also really interested in is, you know, getting like optimizing your performance in the time that you're at work, but also being really productive in your home life and in your relaxation. Like productivity can mean so many different things. And actually like just living a really good life is as important, I think, as, you know, being really good in the working hours that you have.
So it's funny that you mention about like when work is done, then you're done. I have never been good at it, but I wonder too, like if you have a 9-to-5 job, that feels easier. Like I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
Go and this is my shift, but like do you find it harder when you're an entrepreneur? Like I don't ever feel like I'm off, but I also don't ever feel like I'm working because I like my job, and today I feel like I'm working because it's 5:30 in the morning, but in normal life I don't. But I do feel like I find myself with people in my life, I'm like, listen, I don't work often, so when something comes in I have to deal with it. Is that the right way to do it, or am I supposed to have boundaries is what I'm saying?
Well, boundaries is really interesting, isn't it? Because for a lot of people, so you mentioned, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, like I have a business that I run, and we have different offices around the world and stuff. So theoretically, there's always something happening. There's always something to do. Mm-hmm. So it's really difficult to feel like you can be off if you're so used to a way of working where nothing's ever finished, and where if you treat your success measure as have I ticked everything off the list, then you will always be working, because you can never tick everything off the list.
But that's what women live for. Listen, Graham, I'll wake up and I'll be like, here's all that I'm going to do this. And I have to tell you there, because people say, make a list. And then when you're done your list, you can scratch it off. Do you know how much joy women get from that? Sometimes I'll already do something. I'll put it on the list just so I can be like, and done.
Not just women. I mean, I have exactly the same thing. But the point is, there will always still be more to do. So you can tick everything off your list, but there's still another list that you haven't written yet. There's still more stuff. So you have to stop thinking, I will stop when work stops, or I will stop when everything's done, because that's just not feasible. So your starting point has to be, what do I want to achieve today, and also what is my boundary? Like where do I want to finish up today? Like what time do I want to leave? Like you have to have those kind of things in place. So despite the fact that I could be getting messages all day or all night, I've worked a 4-day working week for well over 10 years, probably like 12 years. So I work Monday to Thursday. My weekend is Friday morning through to Sunday night. And Friday morning to Sunday night, I do not check emails. I don't do any work. Like I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I've done work on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday in the last 10 years. Like, wow. So I think that's really important for a couple of reasons. Like, firstly, it allows you more space in the rest of your life, which is just inherently a good thing. But a lot of people aren't willing to take that step or be that boundary, because they think, hey, my boss is going to be annoyed with me, or like, you know, this needs to happen or that needs to happen. And the other way to think about it is resting really well on a weekend, and particularly resting really, really well on evenings, or on a 3-day weekend like I have, it means that when I get back on Monday, I'm like super productive. So I look at my rest time and my downtime as an investment in my productivity. So if you feel guilty about taking time away, if you think about it like that, it becomes an easier sort of bargain that you can make with yourself. I think so much of productivity is ultimately about fear and guilt. People have these very like future and past emotions about productivity, and we beat ourselves up and we kind of get in our own way, and lots of our own thinking stops us from being productive. That's what procrastination is. But like ultimately, like trying to reframe that, if you feel guilty about it, or if you're worried about taking time away, if you reframe it as this is an investment in me keeping the show on the road for a long time, me not burning out, me being really great on Monday, then it's just an easier bargain to make with yourself.
But let me ask you, because I know that there's a bunch of companies that you mentioned in your introduction. Like, do you find that this message, like this is a great message for workers, right? For all of us to hear. But do you find that employers lean into this? Because I can say, well, I'm not going to work from, Friday to Sunday. I'm not going to check my emails. I'm not going to do that. But are employers going to hold that against you? Because are there other people who are doing that? And, if the employer holds that as some kind of value, do you find that, that employers are responsive to this philosophy? Like, you will get more from your employees if you leave them alone and give them that downtime. I feel like you hear it more now than ever, but is it like genuinely accepted that people are encouraging their employees to not do that?
So you feel like employers are getting more tuned into the idea of mental health and work-life balance and stuff like that?
Yes, more
Yeah.
than ever, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like, there are some companies that are like, hey, I just feel like I read the news and you'll hear people say, or you'll see an article where like, I lost my mom or something happened. And I come to work because I think I need to just keep busy and just distract myself. And they're like, you need to go home, take some time, and things will be okay here. Like, go take care of yourself. I feel like we're starting to hear more of that. But
For sure, yeah. Let me come back to that specific thing in a second, because there's something important I want to say about it. But I think in terms of like clients and what I see, I mean, there are clients I've worked with who will literally turn off the email servers, right? So Volkswagen in Europe is one of those ones where at 6 p.m. they turn off the email server, and then no one can send emails, because they know that over time, if people are, and also if you're a boss, right, and you send an email out to 20 people late in the evening, you've really got to think about what's the expectation you're now setting for those 20 people. And often, if you've been a boss for a long time, you forget that there is a massive power dynamic going on, in that someone feels really obligated to get back to you. So I think so many companies are getting more wise into that in terms of their policies. And also, I think when I'm talking to businesses about things like getting enough rest and like making sure that you take time for your mental health and like meditation and like all this kind of stuff, I think so many companies they know that they're so far from where they'd really like to be, that if I give them that message, and people take on 5% of it, like there's no danger that people are going to take that message so much to heart that they don't get their work done. Because they're so far away from that way of working. So I never really come across any backlash to it, really. I mean, and of course, the other thing is, the other side of it is true, where there will always be the time in the year where you're running the one big event, or you've got the one big product launch or whatever, where people are going to work some evenings and people are going to work up. But it's about, what do you do, to recover from that? Or what do you do to make sure that that's sustainable? Or what do you do to make sure that, you can work in a way where there's kind of like the rough with the smooth, or the zig with the zag? And so I think that's a really important thing. The other thing I wanted to mention, just around, when people have problems at home, people being ill, those kind of personal life crises and how they affect work. So in my business, we had like a spate of it where it just felt like we were the cursed business. Like everybody was having these, just horrendous personal life issues, bereavement, sickness, like all this really horrible stuff happening to quite a small team of people, and we kind of thought for a little while like maybe we're cursed, and then we realized, oh no, that's just life. Right? It's the Buddhist thing of life is suffering. But I think what that period sort of taught us is we started to really reevaluate like how we dealt with those things. So we had some people who we had 2 people had to go into hospital and have operations, and our company policy was saying one thing, and we were like, actually, we just need to give people more time and let them recover at home, and just almost like reverse engineer it. Like, what would I have wanted my employer to be like if I was in that situation?
Yeah.
And I came up with this little phrase, and the phrase was people first, work second, always. And so whenever someone has one of those kind of instances at work now where, a family member's really sick, or they're really sick, or like the pet's died, or like whatever the thing is, I always use that little phrase, people first, work second, always, in the way I respond. And often I'll literally, quote it. But always is the most important word in that little phrase, because always means we hold ourselves to that level of accountability and that kind of standard. Yeah. Even if we might be on a massive deadline, it might be the biggest thing in our work. It's always, there's no exceptions. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, it says it's always somebody's always. So there's always somebody in your team. There's always somebody in your friendship network. There's always somebody in your organization who is going through something that you don't know about. Yeah. And almost like as a manager or as a colleague, like your job is to scan the horizons and look for that stuff. Yeah. And so when you look at it in that way, it becomes, quite a high standard, but it's a high standard of kindness. So my next book is actually called Kind. It comes out in October this year, and it's all about kindness at work. So that's kind of what I've been obsessing over the last year or so. And there's a lot more to it than just that phrase. But that phrase was like a really important starting point for me in really starting to talk to companies about kindness and how does that manifest, and also how does kindness drive really great performance too, because it does.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny that you're saying this, because I think we have something similar, but we have a different phrase. Do you want to know what our phrase is?
Yeah, go for it.
So
then I can translate it and change it when the book comes out in the States.
Yeah, I don't think you want to change it. So we have, like you, we're a small team. There's probably 6 of us on the team, and I built my team over probably the 20 years. And most of my workforce when I started were stay-at-home moms and dads. So they were people that had little kids, but were great employees, but they couldn't get work full time because they had to pick up their kids. So they dropped their kids off. So you had to be at work whenever you got done from dropping your kid off. Like, it wasn't like you have to be here by 9. I was like, show up after you drop your kids off. And then they'd stay until they have to go pick their kids up. So everybody worked from like 8:45-ish to like 1. And they were like, I gotta go. And my philosophy was like, I would rather have people who really want to be here. Like, these were people who were at home, didn't have a social network. They were like, I'm excited to see people. I'm excited. We lost him. Well, I'll vamp until he can get back. But that's why freelancing was on my own. I know, Fiona, I love having a flexible schedule. And okay, here he is. All right, Graham, we're back. So it's pretty flexible schedule. And our philosophy is like, I don't care if you get it done now, but if you could get it done by the end of the day, even if the end of your day is midnight, I don't care.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And everybody was so like happy to have that flexibility that they were like, oh, it'll be done by midnight. And I knew, I was like, these bitches aren't going to go to bed until this stuff is done. And so it was funny because when Michelle started with us, Michelle actually just started with us just in the last year. And, we know that this is our culture. We know that we're like, whatever, you know what, things happen.
Yeah.
And so Michelle, something was due. In her mind, she was like, this has to be done. And so she called me and she was upset and she was like, I didn't get this done. And I had this, no. She was kind of just having this breakdown. And I was like, Michelle, this whatever, just whatever. Like we set goals. But normally I set goals like way before I actually need them done to have that flexibility. There are times when I'm like, this actually needs to get done right now. But I was like, so I said to her, she was so upset because she's such a good worker and she's so dedicated. And I just kept saying to her, I said, Michelle, we're not a real company. That's our phrase. Our phrase is, we're not a real company. We're not surgeons. No one's going to die. We're not helping children. We're not a real company. So like, just do it when you can. Like, this is all new. Like, to us, everything and I'm sure it's the same with you. Like, we're not a real company in that we don't have to have certain productivity goals. We have them, but we don't have such a strict guideline, and we do make a lot of stuff up as we go and we learn things. And so but I also feel like that we're all really close, because I think having that type of work life understanding is that there's got to be some honesty in where you are. I feel like a lot of us put a front on, like, everything's fine, I have it, I'll take care of it. I'm like, please, if you got stuff, just say I'll, because my whole show is me going into the universe going, you guys are I had a crack jacket on, and just putting everything out there and saying I was not allowed to eat with my hands yesterday, and it was very difficult. But I also feel like we're also a really close company, and there's just, kindness is such a big part. And I do feel like I have 3 kids, Graham, and I remember, with 3 kids, 1 mom, and the world to move through, inevitably somebody would have a breakdown. And I remember one day 2 of my kids were having a breakdown at the same time, and it doesn't happen often, but like full bad days. And I remember looking at, like, Dean. Jacqueline had started having a breakdown. I looked at Dean, he was starting to have a breakdown, and I looked at him, I go, you know what, I hear that you're upset, but Jacqueline is having a breakdown right now. So if you can hold your breakdown until tomorrow. And he was like, okay, I could do that. I was like, it'll be your day. We have 1 breakdown a day. It's not your day. And he was like, that's fine, I can have it tomorrow. And I was like, it was so funny that he was like, oh, I mean, if you can still let me have it. I was like, oh, you're definitely going to have it. It's your breakdown. But it was just this acknowledgement that, like, everybody has breakdowns. I already have one. You can have yours tomorrow. He's like, I want tomorrow. I was like, fine. But it was just that management of it, like that idea that me as a person can only handle this problem right now. But just managing. I think it's great that you just talk about the management of those things and not hiding them and not trying to, feel bad. Because I feel as the owner of my company, I have a lot of guilt. I'm like, I have to do this, I have to do this. And I have to tell myself, I have to give myself that leeway as well. So
and it's like,
if you want to name your book We're Not a Real Company, I'm okay with that. I'll just say it now. But I don't know if you'll sell any books.
But I also use the phrase, if someone comes to me and they're like really overwhelmed, I'll often use the phrase, well, no one's going to die.
Yeah.
Which is a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Just this sense of like, just let's get some perspective. And that's not to be unambitious, but again, it's often where people are in terms of like their fear or their guilt or like their neuroses about stuff, is that people are taking it so much more seriously than they need to, that you giving them that disarming sort of thing with it by taking a step back and saying, hey, like, no one's going to die. Or the other one I do sometimes is just to say to people, just zoom out from where you are. So you sat at your desk and you're panicking, whatever, just zoom out and it's just like a person typing on the keyboard, and then zoom out and it's like your neighborhood, zoom out and it's your city, zoom out and it's your country, and then you zoom out even further and you're just floating in space in a little kind of ball of dust and stuff. It's like, it's very easy to just get a bit more perspective and just be a bit less worried about the full stops and the commas on the thing that you're just writing or whatever. So I think sometimes just giving that like perspective of just kind of zooming out. People are generally diligent and they want to do good stuff, and then people are not lazy. And so like treating people that way and treating people with respect, rather than what I see often, which is, the assumption is this person's skiver and they're lazy and they don't want to work. Like, I just think that's true of so few people. And you do have to recruit people with good attitudes, and you have to have that starting point. This is a group of people that want to succeed and do well in whatever it is that they're doing. But I just think, my experience is, so I work in all kinds of different industries. Most people want that. Most people want to do a good job and they want to do well. And I think, people are generally motivated and good in the work that they do. So if you start from that point with just adding in a bit of respect and kindness, then I just think it goes a long way to reducing stress. And even in the book, I'm talking a lot in this new book about how kindness breeds trust, and trust and empathy, help you get to a place of psychological safety. And when you have psychological safety, everything good happens, right? So you have higher productivity, you have higher creativity, you have better problem solving, you have better whistleblowing if there are potential accidents. Like, all these things happen when people feel psychologically safe, which is to say that they feel able to stand up and take an interpersonal risk and raise an issue. And from that we get better ideas and better productivity and all this other amazing stuff.
So all of this makes sense. I think sometimes we just need to hear it, right? Because a lot of the things you're saying, we don't hear at work. We hear this has to be done, and you're going to get evaluated. I hate when we don't have evaluations, but I'd like to write one up about Michelle. But when people say we have these evaluations we have to do, and I get it in terms of accountability, but it just seems so ominous when people are like, I have to do that, and so much of that I feel like is connected to your productivity that we traditionally think. But Tanya just said, what about people with anxiety? What are your, tips for them? Because I feel like while your company might say to you exactly what you said, we want you to feel comfortable, we want you to feel safe. But if your own brain is working against you, like what are some things with people with anxiety can be doing?
Well, I think ultimately a lot of anxiety comes from, you could say it comes from information overload, but really it comes from opportunity overload, or the worry of missed opportunity overload, right? So if you've got 100 things in your inbox, or 100 paper notes that you've made in meetings or whatever, then you just look at that and you just go, oh, I'm just overloaded. There's loads of stuff. If I drill down into any one of those things, there's probably a load of other stuff. And so it's very easy to start getting anxious from that position. So, a really important part of the process that I talk about in Productivity Ninja is get all the stuff that you're working on, get it out of your head first, and then start to work, to ask yourself some good questions about it, basically, which is what organizing is. Organizing is just asking yourself good questions about potential commitments. And then once you do that, you start to have a really good sense of, here are the actions that I need to take, here are the projects that relates to. And it's like, once you can take that step back and almost like see the wood from the trees, then it's much easier to have the opposite of that stress and anxiety, which is a playful momentum to the work that you're doing. So, cool, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. And it's back to your dopamine thing, right? Of like, I've got a list, I'm going to tick things off, I'm going to feel really good about doing that. But you can do that much more easily and be in that kind of state where, like, once you've done the thinking around everything, so that you're not anxious anymore. So anxiety almost needs to sort of play itself out by you like scenario planning and saying, what happens if this does go wrong? Okay, well, this is how it goes right, and this is how this one goes right, and like you figure those things out. Same with things like emails and Teams messages and all that sort of stuff. Just going through those and just working out what are the actions that I might need to do from those, really starts you to get to a place where you can kind of see in perspective what you can do next. And you can only do one thing next, right? Multitasking is a myth. You can only do one thing next. So really the trick is, do I know that the thing I'm doing next is the thing I need to be doing? And I'm not leaving something that's, really crucial, that in a week I'm going to step on a landmine or not uncover the gold mine because I've left it in my inbox. So it's really just about putting that extra thought into things, and, getting all the ideas that you have in your head out of your head so that you can just make that good decision of like, what's next?
Putting together a plan, because I feel like it is. I feel like we're just reacting instead of just sitting down and taking the time. So Michelle has put the links in to Graham's book, How to Be a Productivity Ninja. So check that out. Michelle had written a note. What about working from home or stay-at-home parents? Like, do you have suggestions for them when it comes to all of this? Because that's like another layer.
Yeah, so I work from home almost full time. as in, I'm on the road a little bit, but most of my work days are here in my shed at the bottom of my garden here. And so I think there's a couple of things that are really useful for me. One is if you can have a designated space that is not part of the rest of the house. So mine is literally like I walk down the garden, and that separation, it's only a 20-second walk, but just having that mental separation. And you can do that obviously with a room or with a corner of a room, but just some kind of place where you can have a designated work setup that also crucially you can close the door on at the end of the day. So it kind of works both ways. I think that's really important. I think the other thing for me is I do a lot of batch cooking. So I'm a vegetarian, but I'll do like a veggie chili, or I'll do a sort of Thai red curry or something like that. And then I'll batch cook that and put those in the freezer, and I'll have like 20 of them or whatever. So that when I want to get my lunchtime meal or whatever, it's just like 2 minutes in the microwave or 2 minutes on the hob or whatever. So you're not getting drawn into that whole like, well, I'm in the kitchen, I may as well put the washing on. Oh, that's happening over there, I may as well tidy up. And suddenly like an hour and a half's gone, which does happen. That does happen to me. But I do feel like if you can just make those kind of maintenance tasks like the lunch or getting drinks or whatever, just making that as simple as possible is a really good way to kind of avoid the distractions. And also sometimes having like people here. So my assistant Emily's here like 2 days a week, so that's my accountability to like make sure I'm in the office early and be there the whole day and all that sort of
thing. It's so funny all the things you're saying, because I just started. I made like 15 chicken cutlets the other day, and I was like, this is lunch for the week. Like and so that I do, because there's so many videos on the internet of women saying, oh, I have some work to do. Let me just do these dishes. Oh, but in here, I forgot I got to do this. And then the day's gone. And to do it.
So I wrote another book, which is called How to Have the Energy. Okay. And it's all about basically how to eat to have like the best mental health, the best brain power for work. So just like, what does your brain need and how can you do that if you're busy? And so batch cooking is definitely like one of the principles in that book. We also talk about next overs. So the idea that if you're making your dinner in the evening for like a family of 4, just consciously make 6 or 8 so that, then it's not like a massive batch, but it's just like you've got the next day's meal done. So just always have that idea of next overs in your head. And there's lots of other little sort of tips and tricks in there. It's called How to Have the Energy. And I wrote it with a nutritionist because I'm not a nutritionist, but I wrote it in collaboration with Colette Hennigan, who's a leading nutritionist here. And like it's had amazing feedback because it's like, like it's one of these common cliches, isn't it? Is like, I really want to eat well, I really want to eat healthily, but at the same time, I'm so busy, so it's just going to go out the window. And actually, what Colette talks about a lot is the idea that you eat good food when you've got good food in your fridge. So do a really good shop one time, and then you've just got the best options available to you. Like, so she'll be on planes and she's got a little bag of almonds and, she's got all the stuff that's slightly healthier than what you were sharing just before we started it.
What, is she allowed to use her hands though, Graham? Because that's weird.
Do you know, I'd never heard this before. Why can't you eat with your hands on a plane? So is it because there's germs being circulated? Is that the...
Yeah, Michelle's a bit of a germaphobe. So my mom and I have a cooking show, and because they're the same person, my mom makes something like what she called no-touch chicken. She doesn't like to touch chicken, so she just uses tongs, and she'll like put it in an egg drench and put it into another drench, and then put it in so you never touch it because she's so funny. So it's no-touch chicken, no-touch snacks. It's the whole thing.
I had never heard this thing about planes and the germs on planes. Because I would have thought when the plane stops, don't they have to sort of wipe all the seats down before the next one get on? No?
Adorable. You're adorable, Graham. America's a disgusting crap hole. Okay. All right.
I think British Airways does that.
Tips on how to be more productive using phone apps. Is that a thing? You can be more productive.
Oh, yeah.
What?
So, okay, so there's two. I want to tackle this from two very opposite angles. One is to say your phone can be really helpful.
Okay.
And there are some apps that can help you. So the one that I run my life on is called Todoist. Because this is the question, like whenever I start talking about productivity, people always People in the comments saying they don't wipe it down that well, Graham.
Yeah, Graham, we don't know where you live, but no, we're disgusting.
Yeah, so the app that really helps me is called Todoist. So Todoist, Todoist, and that is basically a very souped up to-do list app. There are other ones that are available. Microsoft actually has a similar one within the Microsoft Outlook world called just Microsoft To Do. That's worth checking out. There's another really good one called Remember the Milk, which is good, and there's one called Nosby. So they all do basically the same thing, and you basically just pick the one that has the best, user interface that you just kind of like the best. But Todoist for me, I think, is the best one. So that is a really good way that if I'm having ideas, if I'm, sat on a train or just sat around with nothing to do, I can just have a quick look through and just work out hey, what do I need to do today? What do I need to do tomorrow? And also, if I have new ideas, I can just capture them really quickly and get them into there, so they're not in my head. So that's a really good, very healthy use of a phone app. The problem with phones is, so I watched this thing a little while ago. It was the chess player Garry Kasparov, who was one of the grandmasters of chess in the 1990s. He was very famous for. He was the first person that he was a grandmaster that the IBM computer beat him, and he was completely flummoxed by this. So he's a sort of famous name in chess. But he had this interview where he said that he was really sad that in the 1990s and 2000s, when he would go to universities in Russia and he would do talks, all the best people, all the brightest brains in these universities, they all wanted to go and work for NASA. They wanted to go and work for the Russian, space station or whatever, and basically put people on the moon and have these amazing human achievements. And so all the brightest minds in the world wanted to do that. And he said he's really sad because when you ask those same people in universities now, where do they want to be? They want to be Facebook, Google. They want to work for tech companies. And the brightest minds on the planet, their job is to steal a little bit more of your attention. And how do they do that is through phones, right? So they're advertising all the time. Every time you click on Google, you're getting those little adverts, the Instagram thing. I'm sure some of you seen the, what was that thing on Netflix that was the sort of anti social media thing a couple of years ago? I can't remember the name of it. But basically the idea is in the moment, as you search for stuff, there is a bidding war for your attention. There's a bidding war for...
Yeah, no, I remember that doc. Yeah, for sure. Because time you push down on Facebook, it repopulates with you're
exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly. So the brightest minds in the world, their job is to steal your attention, and as much of it as possible because it is monetizable, and that's the game, right? So when you know that, then you have to really question the strategy being the best way for me to get good work done and not be distracted by my phone is through willpower. That's just a really bad strategy, right? So when you understand that the best minds in the world, that's their job. So there's a really good app that I use called Freedom. And what Freedom does essentially is it blocks Instagram, it blocks Twitter, it blocks WhatsApp, all the things that distract you. It blocks you for the time period that you want it to block it for. So you almost have a locked phone. You can still use it as a phone to call your mum. You can actually still see and go in and look at WhatsApp, but it won't come back and ping at you. So you can just have it set up in such a way that basically it becomes just your smartphone becomes a dumb phone for those hours of the day. So that's an app called Freedom. There are some other ones that are that will do a similar job. There's one called Minimalist Phone, which will do the same kind of thing. There's also another one I really like called Forest. So Forest is a little bit different. So the problem that Forest solves is, when you're sat and you want to be typing away on your laptop and concentrating and doing something important, and it gets a little bit hard, and so a little bit of your brain goes, let me just go over there and look at my phone, it's more interesting, right? So when you have that thought, that's the thing that Forest is trying to solve. So what you do is you set at the beginning of that time period where you're going to sit and work, you set on the Forest app, I'm going to grow a tree on the screen. It's going to take half an hour. So in that half an hour, the tree grows on the screen in Forest. And so any of that time in that half an hour, if you go to your phone and pick it up and take it off the Forest app to go and look at Instagram, the tree dies. So it's just the tiniest piece of positive psychology that basically says, I am not going to look at my phone. I am going to, really focus for this period of time. So Forest is a nice little app that does just that one thing. But yeah, Freedom is the app that really kind of keeps me on the right lines and stops me falling off the rails. And anyone who thinks, no, I'll just be really good and use willpower, that's the wrong strategy. So if you get one thing from today, please stop trusting your own willpower in those situations.
Don't stop killing the tree.
Oh, and by the way, someone's saying about the guilt of killing the tree. So the people who make Forest, they donate money from the revenue of the app to climate projects. Oh. So basically, when you go off the screen, you can have genuine climate guilt that trees are not being trees are not being planted because of your procrastination. So if you really want that extra layer.
It's so funny. So listen, it's so funny. Everybody's mentioning rubbish, all of your English words. Flummoxed, my mom.
People are discussing the word bollocks in the chat. Did I use that word already?
Yes.
Did I? Sorry.
We love it. We love
That's
it.
A bit of a rude word.
Fun, Graham. Well, Graham, this has been amazing. When did you say the next book is coming out? Kind.
So Kind comes out in the UK in October of this year. It's with Bloomsbury, so it's with Harry Potter and its people. And I think it comes out about a month later with Bloomsbury in the US. I think it's November this year.
All right. Well, we'd love to have you back and hear more about that.
I'll come and chat to you about it. And if you want to keep in touch with what I'm doing, if you go to grahamalcott.com/links, that just has all the links to everything I'm doing. So all the different books, my company, Think Productive, the new book Kind, and also have this a Sunday email list where basically I send out one positive or productive thing for the week ahead. Every Sunday at 4 p.m. UK time. So it's just something to set you up for the week so that on Monday morning you can open your inbox and just have something useful to think about. So if you want to sign up for that, that's on the links thing as well. So yeah, someone's just put it in the chat there. Thank you. One funny mother and
Michelle put in the links for that. She also put in links to the Forest app. So if you'd like to look into that as well. So Graham, thank you so much for joining us. This was so
pleasure.
Wonderful.
And are you going to send my crack jacket through the post? Yeah,
I will see about getting a crack jacket to you. They're kind of hard to come by, so it might take a little bit, but you're going to love it. So thank you again, Graham. It was such a pleasure. We will look forward to seeing you all. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Oh my goodness! Look how pretty it is now. It was so dark when we started the show. All right, Michelle did a good job. We have to give her props for it. But hopefully you got something from that. I think it's really great to hear someone who has spent so much time and dedication to just kind of resetting your brain in terms of what's driving you. And maybe you needed to hear this today about just reset. Maybe the goal isn't to have so many goals and just maybe have some more boundaries for yourself and grow a tree. So I really like that app. So we'll be back. Oh, I'm going to do this again tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. I will have a look at all of the times that I have been able to research that Dina has worn the green shirt. So you don't want to miss this, folks. Because Dina says, I don't ever.
We're going to be making some changes to staffing here at One Funny Mother by tomorrow morning. So, all right, everybody. Well, I hope you had a great one. Those of us on the West Coast worked really hard to be here. So you can thank all of us. But that's it. Judy from Saskatoon says, do something nice for yourself, grow a tree, get the Forest app, or for others today. And look forward. We'll see what kind of trouble we can get into today with my crack jacket. And that's it. So have a great day and a blessed day. And thanks for watching as always. And we'll see you soon. I'll see you. Bye.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed today's morning show, make sure to follow us for more One Funny Mother content.
Okay, all right. Morse code is tapping.
And check out onefunnymotherstore.com for great new inappropriate swag. And for more exclusive content, consider becoming a supporter.
She got a bad leg.
Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow on One Funny Morning.